And I'm back. And what I got here today is another Volvo XC70. This is a 2004. Now, this was advertised for parts or repair in my area, and I went and looked at it, and I mean, it's got some issues, and it's got some drivability issues. It's got a, but the body-wise, it's in really good shape, and I couldn't pass it up. You know me. So I brought this home yesterday. It's a 2004 XC70, the 2.5 turbo all-wheel drive. It comes with a set of spare rims, and the rubber's no good on it, but and it's not bad. It needs a good cleaning, and that goes down underneath. There's not a lot of history on it. It's some young lady had it, and she said it was a good car until it started running poorly. And I drove it here yesterday, and it lacks power, and it's got a bit of a vibration in the engine. But like I say, for the price, I picked it up, and I'm gonna make a decision whether I can fix it or part it out and use some of the parts from my other. I have a V70, 2001 V70 XC. Some of the parts are compatible. A lot of them are. Some aren't. Okay, so that's a 2.5 liter engine. That's turbocharged, single turbocharger, and it's got all-wheel drive. And yeah, I mean, for a car that's running, I mean, even with some issues and a good body, I couldn't pass it up. Anyway, so what I'm doing here, this is sort of the first look at it. This is the condition I bought it in. I'm going to do a cleanup on it. I'm going to do some tests, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with this car. Okay, so right away, it threw some codes when I drove it yesterday, but unfortunately, there's the back hatch doesn't lock, or it doesn't latch, and so the battery would have died overnight had I left the battery hooked up. So I disconnected the battery. Of course, that erased all the codes. So I'll have to drive it again to bring all that back, or run the engine for some time. But it was, it was gutless. So I'm going to go through some basic steps here. I'm going to look down here at the coils. I'm going to check the spark plugs, see what they look like, and I'm going to clean the fuel injectors, and I'm going to check the air filter, stuff like that, the basic stuff, and we'll try it again and see what kind of codes it throws. It's got an airbag code. I know for sure it showed up, and who knows? Like I say, we'll look into that a little deeper as I get going here. But yeah, there we go. It's set for about a year apparently. It's got coolant in it. The oil level was okay. The transmission seemed to work fine yesterday. I mean, the problem could be in the transmission, the lack of power, but most likely it's something to do with the engine. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to check the spark plugs and see what they look like. Okay, there's a T30 Torx that holds this cover up on over the spark plugs. The coil. So let's get that out of there. Okay. Out of there. Back on there. Okay. Put this up. Clip off the back of it. Okay, let's take a look at this. Right away I notice the difference between the 2.4 and the 2.5. Mine only has a variable valve timing on the exhaust. This one's got it on both the intake and the exhaust. Someone's been in here at one point and numbered them. That looks like it's been changed. It's not numbered. Okay. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the plugs don't look old at all. Someone's changed the plugs. They look fine. That's one anyway. I'll check the rest of them. Okay, so I checked number 2 and it was the same as number 1, spotless. See now here, now at number 3, it's got carbon deposits on it, so that could be a number of things. Maybe the fuel injector's not delivering the right spray, so that might mean a clogged or malfunctioning fuel injector. It could be other things too. It could be the head gasket and maybe valve seals. But let's take a look at the basic stuff first. Okay, here's number 4. It's got a bit of carbon on it, but it also smells of gas. It smells of gasoline, so that might be the fuel injector. I think that could be part of the problem. Okay. All right. Okay, so I got all the plugs back in, all the coils bolted down. They all seem fine. I'm just, while I'm in here, I'm looking at the timing belt, and that looks like it's due to be changed. You can see cracking in the back of the belt here. Yeah. And there's no sticker under the hood here anywhere, like there's no history that came with this vehicle, so I don't see a sticker. Sometimes people put a sticker on when they've changed the belt. I don't see that here. That looks like it's pretty tired, so if I end up keeping this, it's going to be one of the first things I'm going to do is change the water pump and the belt and the idler and the tensioner, all as a kit. I'll change that. So everything looks pretty good. My 2.4 had a broken cover here, this plastic cover against the side of the engine, and I had to replace it because, I don't know, someone tore into it, didn't know how to take these clips off, I guess. But this one all looks intact, looks really good. And all right, so there's not much more I can do in there for right now. So, okay, the cover back on there. I'm just going to put these bolts in here, and we'll move on to looking at the fuel injectors. Oh, we got that cable. Goes through there. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at these guys. Okay. I soaked all those O-rings with WD-40, and then I just pried out the rail like this after releasing. Push down on this to release the fuel line coming from the tank, and I got it out. But they were really in there. Let's see here. Let's get that one out. There. Okay. There's the rail. That O-ring stayed down in the hole. I'll have to dig that out. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna see what the air filter looks like. That's airflow sensor connector out of there. Okay. Oh, that looks like a brand new filter in there. Look at that. Yeah. That's a brand new filter. Okay, no need to worry about the air filter. That looks good. Let's take a look at this. The fuses here. Everything looks nice and clean in there. It looks like the spare fuses are in there, so it doesn't look like they've been going through fuses. That's a good sign. All that's intact. Okay. Okay, yeah, the oil doesn't look too bad, but it's a bit high. The full mark is here, and it's almost an inch higher than it needs to be, and that's probably not good either. Okay, we'll get that remedied. Let's take a look over here. I did check this stuff the other day before I drove it, but you can see the coolant is nice and high in here, so it hasn't leaked out in all the time it's sat around. And the power steering fluid is it's in there. It's on the stick. You know, it probably hasn't been flushed, but that'll have to be flushed if we keep the car.